Hi everyone, today's video is going to be kind of interesting because I'm going to be talking about a few makeup brands that I don't support and why. This was originally suggested by Aubrey, so thank you for sending the suggestion in. And I can see how this might get a little bit touchy for some people, but we all have our stances on brands and whether or not we want to support them, and I want to tell you why there's a few brands out there that I don't support. So I'm going to kick this off by talking about the brand that I've probably discussed the most about why I don't support them, so it's probably going to be the most obvious to people, and that is Kat Von D and her beauty brand. And I loved her makeup stuff so much. Her liquid lipsticks, her highlighters, her eyeshadow palettes. There was so much that I loved about Kat Von D for so many years. But the moment that she came out and said that she wouldn't be vaccinating her unborn child at the time, and gave a whole bunch of reasons as to why vaccines were unhealthy, I'm still shocked and horrified by it, to be honest. It's been like, what, a year, maybe 2 years now, and I still can't get over it. She is such a public person and personality and makeup brand, and to go around promoting such heinous values towards vaccinations, I can't even process it. Vaccines are not the devil. There is nothing inherently wrong with them, and for people who have no science degrees whatsoever to go around and say that they have done their research on the internet of all things and that they have deduced that vaccines are harmful is just appalling. And when that came out, the backlash was massive. So many big YouTubers and influencers were just like, absolutely not, I'm not supporting you. And honestly, I kind of sat on it for a little bit because I was like, but I love her products. But then at the end of the day, I just came back to, I support vaccines. Our country is, Canada and the US, is seeing these diseases come back that have been dead for so long because people aren't vaccinating their kids, that it's just, I cannot throw my money at somebody whose values just don't align with mine. So I think she's promoting something horrific and I don't want to give her my money. So that's basically what it boiled down to. And the funny thing is that since she announced that she is an anti-vaxxer, essentially, all of her makeup launches, in my opinion, have been garbage looking. So I haven't even been tempted, which is great, but even if I was tempted, I'm not buying her product because I cannot give that woman my money based on what she has said. So yeah, Kat Von D is essentially dead to me. I still use the products that I have because I don't want to be wasteful in that respect, and I still like them. I will list them in the description box of my video if I have used them, but I'm definitely not encouraging anybody to go out and spend money on her products anymore. Okay, the next brand I'm going to talk about is Lime Crime. Now I know they've changed in the last few years. They've definitely changed who the owner of the brand is, which should have some impact positively on the brand. But I've been left with such a bad taste in my mouth from years gone by that I don't really want anything to do with Lime Crime. And that is solely because the creator of Lime Crime, Doe Deer, has just done some really sketchy and appalling things over the years. One example would be that she dressed up as Adolf Hitler for Halloween because that's funny, apparently. So that's not only in poor taste and completely heinous. The other issue was, aside from Doe Deer being a very sketchy person, please, by the way, if you are wondering about anything that I'm talking about, just go look into Doe Deer as a person. There is some just weird, uncomfortable stuff that she has done in the past. But one of the most widespread problems, I would say, was when their website, several years ago now, probably 4 or 5 years ago, ended up defrauding a lot of their customers. So thousands of dollars were being taken from customers who had shopped through their website. And at the time, they didn't really release a proper statement. They weren't saying why this was happening or what was going on. It just seemed, I think, a lot at the time, because it's been a few years now, they were attacking their customers for complaining that they had been defrauded on their credit cards. So that was a story that I didn't follow too intensely, but at the time that it happened, I was like, of course, like Doe Deer is so bizarre. There's so much weird stuff that has gone on with her. I am not surprised that so many customers have had their credit card numbers taken and then charged thousands of dollars of money. At the end of the day, I don't actually know what happened to those transactions or if they refunded their customers, but there was some really sad stories that came out from that. Like somebody was trying to pay for their college tuition and they could no longer afford it because all of the money was taken off their credit card. So yeah, it was just a really horrible situation. I've always had this weird sort of feeling that I just don't trust Lime Crime, so I've just always avoided the brand. Okay, the next brand I'm going to talk about is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And it's kind of scary actually to talk about his brand because his fans are terrifying. And actually he can be quite terrifying too. So there's a lot in Jeffree Star's past that has been really horrible. Racist tendencies, bullying tendencies that I would say still continue, even if you remove the racist aspect, because people do change, I get it. However, I don't feel like he has actually changed. I feel like he's better at hiding how he feels about things, but I don't actually get a sensation that he has changed as a person. Now, I know the Shane Dawson expose series and the release of the Conspiracy Palette, all those videos have done a really good job to sort of reshape who Jeffree Star is as a person, but I don't believe it. I just feel like he's done a really good job of covering up those tendencies, particularly the racist side of things. But the bullying stuff, I feel like it's still there. He will snap off at true fans and customers of his if they don't agree with what he's saying or if they say something about one of his products. And it's almost unbelievable to me because these are people who genuinely like him, who genuinely appreciate who he is and like his creativity. And they will say, hey, you know, like I had a problem with a shattered product, and he will go off on them. And like his fans will then like rip into that person. And it's just this awful breeding ground for negativity. And I'm so uncomfortable with him. I'm so uncomfortable with the brand, and it's got nothing to do with him being a person in makeup that is a guy that is gay. Like, I literally don't care. I'm bisexual. It has nothing to do with any of that. I just wanted to make that clear. It's just, I feel like he's not a good person, and I don't want to give my money to that. Because even if I could believe that he has changed as a person, because people do change, I don't feel that's true. I just don't feel that's true. So that's a brand that I will never give my money to. And in fact, I have unfollowed people who have bought his products because I feel that strongly about it. So yeah, I'm just uncomfortable with him, his fans, his branding. I want nothing to do with any of it. Okay, the last one I'm going to talk about is Manny MUA, or Lunar Beauty. And this is predominantly because I just don't support Manny as a person and therefore don't want to support his brand, although he has put out products that have definitely enticed me, but I just cannot get down with who he is as a person, so I don't really want to give him my money. That Lunar Spell eyeshadow palette, that was beautiful and I wanted to own it, but I cannot throw my money at somebody that I don't believe in. So the reason I just get a bad sensation from Manny is he just has this way of feeling self-entitled. That he's got a huge ego, that he just thinks that he's the best person in the world, and has been involved in so much drama surrounding all of the friends or ex-friends that he's had on YouTube that no, I do not want to give somebody like that my money. One of the things that really stuck out to me was when he posted that Snapchat of him chatting, I think, with the owner of Gerard Cosmetics, and they were calling somebody nasty or ugly, and they tried to correct it later saying that they were talking about that person's personality, but I do not believe that for a single second. They were just trying to correct a PR nightmare after the fact. So not only did he incriminate himself by talking about this, but he also incriminated somebody else who is the owner of a brand and posted it publicly for millions of people to see. And that to me just kind of screamed about what kind of person Manny is. And honestly, it's a little bit hard to speak on these people lately because I feel like in the last year, a lot of these people have put out videos that is explaining their side of things. And more often than not, I feel like it's them trying to reshape the truth and garner sympathy for them and who they are, despite the terrible things that they have done. Like Manny in particular, has been involved in so much drama with his friends and oh man, okay. So Manny did this television spot with Maybelline, I think, for one of their mascaras a few years ago. And I was so concerned. I sent the PR rep from Maybelline in Canada an email saying, is this just for this campaign, or is he going to be a permanent Maybelline representative? Because he has an incredibly shady past on horrible things that he has done, people that he has bullied, and I don't want anything to do with Maybelline if that is going to be the case. Now, thankfully they came back and said that it was just for that campaign, but they also thanked me for being honest, because some of them, as it turned out, weren't necessarily aware of some of the things that had happened, which was good because I honestly wanted nothing to do with Maybelline if they were going to be supporting Manny as an influencer or creator, because the stuff that he had done at that point in time was just really gross, and I was like, why is Maybelline supporting this? I don't want anything to do with him, and I won't want anything to do with Maybelline, but thankfully it was just for that campaign. Yeah, I felt strongly enough to contact the PR firm about that because I just, I do not get a good vibe off of that person. So there are more brands that I could talk about, but I realized this video has gone on for long enough, so I'm gonna cut it here. As I have spoken through this video, I realize that there are people out there that are going to have very different opinions from me, but I wanted to give people who watch my channel some sort of background on why I don't support these people. And while I haven't given you an entire strip list of the things that these people have done that have made me not support them, I did want to provide some reasoning for it. If you are interested in these people and you want to learn more about the things that have happened, I would encourage you to go look them up on Google. Some of these people have such an incredibly lengthy history of things that they have done that have really turned people off. I mean, and using that term kind of bothers me too. Turning people off is usually, you know, something pretty benign, but racism and bullying and stuff like that is not just a turnoff. I feel like that's a reason for me to completely cut off somebody as a person and as a brand. So I feel very strongly about those things, and while this video may not have all of the context for all of the reasons why I don't support somebody, all of these people mentioned in this have hit that sort of threshold where I'm like, I don't want anything to do with you and supporting you and your brand. And you know what? That's okay. Everyone has that kind of threshold that they hit where it's like, I don't want to support something, and that's fine. Everybody's different in that respect. This is just where I'm at with these brands, and most of them have come from stuff that they have done in the past. And I realize that people do change, but at a certain point, I cut people off, and this is my threshold, and these are the reasons why I have cut these people off from receiving my money, really. But I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you found this interesting. I hope we can keep the comments relatively civil. I've tried not to be too volatile in this, but I realize anything like this kind of conversation will definitely spark strong opinions. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.